What's going on, guys? So this is going to be a quick video of how to afford gear, because I've been getting asked a ton of questions about, oh, how do you afford this? How do you afford that? How do you have so many cameras? How do you have so many lenses? What do you do to be able to afford all of this? This is my tips and what my opinion is on how to being able to afford gear. I first want to say this isn't me bragging of what I do have or anything like that. Like, I'm not gloating being like, oh, look what kind of gear I have and anything like that. This is just personally what I have. Personally, I like to use the Canon L series lenses, which is the Canon premium series of photography lenses, which also I use for video because that's just what I have. I don't invest in other stuff for video and then a whole bunch of other gear for photo. I try to get the best of both worlds now that I'm doing a lot of YouTube stuff and like a lot of filmmaking. I try to get lenses that will fit both needs. I didn't buy all this gear overnight. Like, I didn't just go to B&H or Vistech or Amazon and be like, I want a 5D Mark IV, I want this lens, I want that lens, this tripod, these lights, all of this, and cashed out. That's not what happens, and that's not what most photographers or videographers do. It's each purchase is strategic. So like the lens I'm actually shooting this video with right now, the 24-70 Canon L series 2.8 lens, I probably bought this almost 10 years ago, and I've had this piece of glass forever. I didn't buy it brand new, I bought it used, and I've been shooting on it ever since. Lenses and gear is an investment. So if you think of buying, a $2,000 lens, but you having it for the next 15, 20 years, the investment isn't that much. Like, yeah, sure, it's a lot up front, but over the course of like the next 10 years, 15, 20 years, that price is just gonna drop. When you go to resell the lens, say you wanna upgrade to a new lens, that you can almost get what you paid for when getting the lens, because the value doesn't really decrease. People love the L series lenses. Like, I bought the Canon L series 24-70 for, I think it was like $1,100 Canadian, and they're still going for like $1,000. So is that purchase perfect for me? Yeah, I mean, I lose $100 if that, and I've booked how many jobs, how many projects have I used this lens for. I personally think that $100 is definitely worth it. So saving, yeah, some gear is expensive. You do have to save. I try to live by the rule. Every job that I get booked for, I try to save anywhere between 10 and 25%, just in case anything does go wrong or a new lens that I really want to purchase comes out, then I do have the money and the capital to buy that lens. That's just me though. Other photographers or videographers may save a little bit more, may save a little bit less, but I like to save between 10 and 25%. I like to throw it into a savings account and then just keep it there, because you never know. Things do happen, things do go wrong. You might drop something, somebody might run into you, I don't know, a rock might kick up when you're at the beach and hit your lens, break your lens. I just like to keep that money, so if something does go wrong, I do have money to get gear replaced, get gear fixed, or just, pick up a new lens that comes out, like the Canon 85-1.4 IS that I do want to get my hands on sometime soon. I definitely wouldn't suggest you breaking the bank. Buy stuff that you can afford. Don't put yourself into a crazy amount of debt trying to be like, I need this lens to get booked for a job, or I need this lens to be able to shoot for, shoot portraits. This is the go-to lens that all the photographers have. Don't fall into that trap. Fall into what you can afford. If you can only afford, $200-300, buy something that's $200-300, or continue saving up for that lens. Don't put yourself in like a $2,000 debt, hole that you won't be able to climb out of. You want this lens, like, don't make yourself starve, or don't have to worry about paying rent at the end of the month because you bought this lens. Don't do that. For me, when I first started out, I just saved up. It probably took me a couple months to be able to afford the $1,000 Canon 24-70. It didn't hurt my bank account because I had the money for it. I just put away $100 a month or $200 a month, whatever you can afford to do that you're not gonna hurt over. Then save what you can, and then before you know it, you'll have that money and then you'll be like, yo, let's go buy this lens. And as you progress further along, gear gets a lot easier to purchase. If you have like 2-3 lenses, you can be like, oh, I don't really use this lens. Let me sell this lens and buy this lens. Or, let me sell these 2 lenses and buy this new camera. Lenses last you forever. Camera bodies, don't try to invest a huge amount of money because you're gonna be upgrading in maybe like 2 to 5 years anyways. So I wouldn't suggest that. But even other gear like tripods and stuff like that kind of are essential. Once you buy it, you're probably gonna have it forever. That's pretty much all for the video. I just wanna finish out by saying, don't fall into the gear trap. You don't need a specific lens to create content. Create content with what you have and upgrade when you can and when you can afford it. Definitely suggest renting lenses, because if you make a huge purchase and then you don't really like that lens, then that's kind of a wasted purchase. Or make friends with people that do have these lenses and stuff like that, and you can share gear. Yeah, just get out there and create content with what you have and make yourself an amazing photographer, videographer. Hope you enjoyed this quick little video on how to afford gear, and if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments below. If you have any other tips on how to be able to afford gear, leave that also in the comments below. And that's all for this time. Peace.